Recently, we have been getting remakes and continuations, and God knows whatever the hell this is. From Urusei Yatsura getting a remake updated to our time, all the way from the forgettable projects like Eureka 7, which is kind of sad because I do love Eureka 7. But one of the animes to get a remake I never would have guessed but would have been the easiest guess to make is Trigun, and let me tell you, I was worried about it. When it was first announced, I was super excited. Then I saw the redesign, and although it was cool, I thought that this wasn't the Vash that I grew up on. And seeing it be in CG, my stereotypical thought was, oh god, please no. And honestly, that might just be PTSD from Berserk 2016, and I get it, that was 7 years ago, but I still got hurt from it. Honestly, probably should find a program or something for it. But then it hit me. From hearing my own bitching and complaining that this isn't the Vash that I knew, in fact, it may even be better. If you go online and look up what people are talking about when it comes to the remake Trigun Stampede, you will see a lot of hype and people saying that, oh, it actually has good scenes, or they actually did hit this character on the mark, and that they miss Millie Thompson. But all I'm hearing is a lot of actuallys or, oh, they did this right. And as a remake, it is hard not to compare to its predecessor, but with remakes like this, I think you should take the critique from its standalone project itself, not the one. And on the other side, some people not liking it because of its direction and its harsh contrast they draw to the original. One of the critiques I hear the most is about its exposition in the first few episodes and how the story is coming off. Complaining that since we already know about the characters and the fact that it is a remake, that we do not need all the exposition. And while yes, I understand it might be hard to sit and listen to things that you already know, a lot of stuff needs to be caught up for new viewers, and some stuff may have been forgotten, even by hardcore dedicated fans that haven't watched it in a while. And that's just how storytelling goes. Sometimes it needs to happen for new viewers, and for viewers that haven't seen it in a while. In layman's terms, I could say it sounds like a you problem? This new story follows the manga, so we're introduced to Knives and Vash early on in the series, literally the first scene. We know that Vash isn't from Earth because it's the story that we will be following for this whole entire series. If you did want to compare the original to the new, I would actually argue that the original has more exposition than the remake and felt more forced. They have to drop in almost every single line that Vash is the humanoid typhoon and he is a force to stay away from, and he is a $60 billion double-dollar man. And they have to repeat every single time who this Vash character is. When I actually understood that from the many bounty hunters chasing him and the actual insurance company having to come and monitor him, there really is a show don't tell process with a new series. When who Vash is really only brought up when it comes up in a situation or conversation, Vash even explaining who he is and the whole story in the first 15 minutes. I think Meryl actually brings up the fact that her partner drinks so much and too much on the job, more than the fact of who Vash is, why he is the way he is, and why he is a $60 billion double-dollar man. Where in the original, it just kind of gets thrown around randomly in dialogue of running away, or in the middle of gloating in a conversation.
That's why we have to find Vash the Stampede and keep him under 24-hour surveillance. It's the only way to prevent further damage.
Don't tell me you two innocent-looking things are after that $60 billion double-dollar reward.
Mr. Vash the Stampede, time you know that I'm here for the price on your head.
And speaking of the original anime being compared to the newer anime, I think there's more gunfire in this first scene alone than the entire season so far, which is a really good example of showing and not telling, which is a really good example of how contrast these two series are. If the older anime was Vash being a goofball and very big bang fun explosions, then the newer anime is definitely going to be known for its detail in the story and how it progresses from an episode to the next. Then the newer anime is definitely going to be known for its detailed storytelling from one episode to the next, things being explained and reasons for the events happening from one to the other. And then it hit me. The original anime was fun and whimsical and had no real story until the final parts of the series, and had no explanations in between. And if anything, it felt more like a slice of life filler, because that's what the 90s Trigun is filler. If you take a look and see how much source material was adapted, it was actually only 35%. 65% of that being filler for a 20-something odd series is bonkers. You're definitely not getting a majority of story. Think of Boruto if it was actually good. But that is perfectly fine because it works so well being an episodic series. What has Vash gotten himself into this week? Until the end, where we are so invested into the characters that it just hits us with serious issues and scenes that sweep us off of our feet. Scenes like Vash being forced to kill Legato, or Nicholas D. Wolfwood's final scenes. But those critiques are for its own series, but that's critiques for itself as a standalone series, and when we compare it to Trigun Stampede, then we absolutely would see stark parallels. In terms of animation, Stampede has so many jaw-dropping scenes and animation right off the bat, and I'm not sure if CG translates the same way as 2D, so when I say the term blew the budget in the first few episodes, I'm not sure if they actually did, because I don't know the cost of how much forced rush it has to be compared to 2D animation. I don't know if it's easier to pull off each week than rather two big 2D scenes. The only big scenes that I've seen that were animated week by week by week that had great animation for 2D was Unlimited Blade Works, but then again, Ufotable did get like tax evasion hit or something like that, so maybe not the best example for blowing the budget. I don't know enough about CG to be able to say that they're doing a bunch of shortcuts or declines because it all just looks great. The CG has charm and personality that shows off every character's traits. There's a lot of CG anime that came before that look amazing, but you could tell it's very heavily relied on the CG, like Land of Lustrous, or it doesn't look that great. And I'm looking at you, 2016, but remember Therapy? Remember when Therapy? I'm not sure if I want all my anime to look like this, but I'm really glad that Trigun Stampede does. Now, I could go look at people and tell them to quit their bitching and Stampede looks fine and moves on, but I understand why people feel this way because that's exactly what I thought when I first looked at the images and trailers for the series. It is very easy to quickly judge something that you hold so close to your heart like an anime from your childhood, but I promise if you take a deep breath, put your arms down from being folded, let go of that grumpy face, I promise it's okay to change. CG anime can look amazing. There's no need to be conservative when it comes to your anime. Although it is harsh critiques like you guys who keep companies from ruining a bunch of shows and making sure they are not butchering it and staying on the right track. It may still happen in the future, but I think we're heading in the right direction. We did have to break a lot of eggs to get to where we are. So maybe I shouldn't harp on all these old remakes and continuations that didn't go so well because it means that they're figuring it out. Stampede is fun, it's energetic, and it's as close to a perfectly great animation adaptation that we're gonna get from the manga. It's not ruining your favorite show, it is your favorite show. It has the heart and the core there, it's just a part of the family. So yeah, you're wrong about Trigun Stampede, and so was I. Hey guys, just want to say thank you so much for watching and a quick shout out to my Patreons over at patreon.com/DakotaBroskie, at Erectile Reptile, thank you Sis, and thank you Connor F. Baumgardner. If you want to support me on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/DakotaBroskie and you can help me support the channel there. By donating just $1, you get access to my Patreon and I get to talk about a lot more series that you guys want me to talk about because you just commented there. There will be more to come, it is good to be back and I missed you guys so much. With that being said, I'll see you in the next video.